Hi, I'm Kellen.
And I'm Christina.
And we're part of this year's City of KC Winter Arts Festival. So my arts practice, I consider myself a conceptual artist, but at the moment I love to work in acrylic, and spoken word poetry has been the majority of my work at the moment. I really enjoy exploring ideas of suburbia, like sensibilities, queerness, and kind of the interesting relationship between those things in the space that we live in.
I consider myself a creative. I use materials that are bright in colour, like Sharpies, paint pens, and then I refine it with fine liner. I also crochet a lot, do blankets and little bags for people. The art I make, I mostly just focus on like it being fun. I just came out of school a couple of years ago, it was in COVID, so for me I'm just still exploring, and I just focus on it being fun and natural and colourful.
I love acrylic mostly because oils take too long and I'm so impatient. But I love acrylics, they're really bright, very colourful, and just the accessibility of acrylics is really important to me in my little office.
Yeah, it's what Sharpies are like for me. Sharpies, like school, that's when I started drawing mostly. Sharpies are always around. I wouldn't take that, I'd borrow them from teachers, and they're so bright, vibrant, pigmented, and when you have new Sharpies and they go next to each other, it doesn't look like a normal textile, so it's just really easy. Yeah.
It's a big question. It's like, where does art come from? Like, why do we do it? Like, I think it's a very human thing to create. It's just a part of self-expression and dealing with the world, and I create because I love it. I love the community around it, and it's an important means of self-expression, as cliche as that is.
I create, it's always been something natural for me. I'm always doodling on stuff, and so it's always just been, a way for me to express myself. I'm not much of a writer, so when I literally just draw what I think and what I see, so it's easy for people to see and visualise it, just a visualisation. And also connects me to my family. Like, my grandma introduced me to crocheting, so I like having that quality time with her, so yeah.
My stories are often about finding joy in simple things and just kind of enjoying the space that you're in and appreciating that, but it's also, my stories are a lot about trying to give language and visuals to things that are absent. And I think the idea of one day this will be an exhibition, but until that day, the idea of the presence of absence. I mean, the suburbs is a huge sentimentality to me, and just kind of navigating what art making and queerness looks like in the suburbs. And I think stories of that liminality, being something so crucial to queerness, but the suburbs don't get as much love. It's often seen as, if you want to experience arts and culture, you have to go to the city. But there's so much here, and there are so many creative people. Like, you step your toe in, and it turns out there's just heaps of communities around us, and just finding ways to connect. And I think that's so much of those ideas of liminality, very much hand in hand, and really love to explore those narratives of those intersections. Yeah.
A lot of people my age, art's this deep thing, it has to mean everything. It's like, you can just draw something. If I think of something, we can just put it on paper, and sometimes that creativity, like in art, for me, art's just creativity. That's why I say I'm a creative. I can crochet, I like to draw, I can try painting, and it can still be something. So I just like to share that being a creative and creating in itself is something. There's so many people that see it like me, so it's actually being appreciated to just be creative and just think of things and draw it. So I just like to share that you're allowed to do what you want with art, make it your own.
And there's definitely stories there. I mean, just the act of creation having value in itself is like a story, and just like connection.
That is true. Sometimes when I look back on my drawings, people are like, what is that? I'm like, I can remember what I was thinking then, what I was hearing. Like sketches I do in our meetings, if someone points out, I'm like, oh, I remember we were talking about this and that. Like I guess it does carry meaning without me realising, actually. But like, that's what it's about. For me, it's my way of note-taking, my way of visualising what's happening in my life at that time. So yeah, everyone has a different perspective. different things happen in everyone's lives, and just to share it as well. This is a bit cliche, it's like everyone, you're never alone. So sometimes sharing your perspective and your story can help people, or even just someone be like, I had something similar, or like it starts a conversation as well with the subject. So I think that's why it's really, and stories keep things alive. It's everything's through stories. You tell that person, they tell that person. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's why storytelling is important, is like a very similar question to why creativity is important, because I think they're the same thing, or just a medium to do one or the other. And yes, it's how we connect, and I think that's just like the most human thing ever. The Arts Agitators is a youth collective of young creative people here in the southeast suburbs, people aged 15 to 25, and it is a program to facilitate art making, all creativity. We use that term very broadly. People in our collective range from visual art to theatre to spoken word to just incredible conversationalists, and so on and so forth. And it's about creating platforms to present work, to create new work, but also to connect with community and facilitate and learn how to do that facilitation process and reach out to community and connect and create opportunities, not just for the artists and creatives themselves within the program, but those outside of it. And also a lot of upskilling. It's a lot about providing tools and finding, just bringing out different ideas, different mediums. Sometimes bring in artists, sometimes we go out and see shows, just to keep filling that creative cup, so they can keep making work.
Hearing everyone in the group, we try lots of different things together, different mediums, different styles, and kind of jumping into it with other people it makes it a lot easier, a lot more comfortable. Especially for me, I'm kind of I like saying I'm a creator, even labeling myself. I remember telling you in Sarah, I'm an artist, and they're like, yeah. It's comforting to have other people around, and just collaborating together, trying new things is really fun.
Yeah, we battle imposter syndrome together. So our exhibition, One But Many, is going to be held at Bunja Place, and it's going to be just a wall full of everybody's work, and it's all reflecting on the theme of self. So that's the prompt, and that can link in so many ways: ideas of identity, of community, of growth, of imposter syndrome, all those kind of things. And each creative is responding to that in their own way. And we also have a collaborative workshop coming up, which is kind of the activation part of the exhibition, which will involve collaborative art making, and we're going to create sculptures together, and then those are going to also be added into the exhibition at a later date. So there'll be that interactive community side of it that will be added into the exhibition. And thinking about self is not necessarily also about the individualism of it, but also the community, and the things that link, and new ideas that are created from that. Favorite winter story? I kind of love winter. Maybe I'm just I get too hot too easily. But I have a lot of fond memories in the snow with my family. My family are skiers, though we haven't been for forever. So my brother went through VC, and then I went through VC, and then now we're adults. But I remember being in the snow and stepping on a bit of snow, and my whole leg just fell through. And it was like a trap. It was like a booby trap, truly. So that one always comes to mind for some reason when I think of winter. But I like to paint a lot of water droplets on windowsills. I just love how light is captured in water droplets, and that's very winter-esque, especially when the sun comes out just after rain. So it's a very sensory association with winter. But yeah, I really love that.
Me, I just think I have loads of crochet blankets at home. I always crochet, I like being inside in winter because as I crochet it gets bigger and I can wear it as I do it, which is fun. Just reminds me I'd go to my nonna's house, we'd sit, and when I remember I used to go and she'd be she knew I knew how to do it, so she'd just hand it to me. And I'd be like, I don't want to, but I kind of learned to appreciate it and just enjoy it. It's something to do. You can do nothing by doing something. I'd sit and watch a show, but be productive, and get really cool products out of it, and then I go and see her, I'm like, look at it, and she always analyses it, and she's like, yeah, it's alright, always, and yeah, they just remind me of her, which is always fun and like to think about, so yeah.
It's lovely, yeah. Always love a hot cup of tea with my mum.
Oh, yeah, tea's always safe.
Love a tea.